Y'all barbers wake up, man. So I was inside of barbershops somewhere around 8.5 years, right? I only worked in two shops within my barber career. One before I went to prison, and then I was in the one when I got out for like, 6.5, 7 years or something like that. Um, y'all know I'm a barber that has built my own brand. Um, and I'm pretty much one of those barbers that like to go off on my own. I'm an ambitious barber. I had goals, dreams, and I have aspirations for myself. And I've always been that way since I first started, right? um, there's a lot of barbers out here like that. And I noticed that talking to a lot of shop owners and barbers, there's a problem, right? There's some conflict of interest, rather, right? And what that conflict is barbers are having trouble with pushing the shop owner's brand or push their own brand, right? So the shop owners are disappointed because the barbers are not pushing their shop's brand, right? If he call his shop Jay's Shop, he gonna go get Jay's Shop on his shirts, Jay's Shop on some hats, Jay's Shop on the capes, and even on the smocks, right? And Jay is expecting the barbers in the shop to push this brand on social media, out in public, in anything, right? Then you'll have the barber, the ambitious barber, right? Because this ain't all barbers. All barbers are not ambitious, but you have the ambitious barber or a few ambitious barbers that feel like, hey, I want to build my own brand. I want to go out on my own someday. So instead of wearing the Jay's Barbershop shirt, he would wear his brand on his cape and on his hats, on his t-shirts, and all that. And he'll promote his own brand on social media. The shop owner see that, and then that's where the conflict comes, right? Because the shop owner wants you to push their brand, right? And if you're one of these barbers or the shop owner, and you are thinking about this, and this is conflict to you, I want you to understand something. If you're the shop owner, you got to understand you're renting out booths, right? These booths aren't forever, right? If this same barber went set up at a flea market booth or a booth at a expo, they're gonna pay for that booth, and they have the freedom to promote their brand, right? Sell their own products, promote their own brand from that one little booth, right? You're almost in the real estate business. You really can't tell someone that they can't push their own brand once they're paying for the booth, unless you have that understood in the beginning. But what a lot of shop owners do, they just want booth rent, so they don't say nothing about a barber pushing their brand. But then when the barber start to push the brand, then the owner starts to have a conflict with that. But see, if this is their booth, you just like a barber suite. Your booths are just smaller, and they may got one wall instead of four walls around it, right? But this barber, independent technician, is renting their space, right? So I believe they have the right to promote their brand. Like I said, with your shop, your rules is your rules, right? But you probably know if you decide to start having rules around that, you probably have less barbers, right? Now, you do have barbers that's team players, right? So they'll come in and rep your brand. They ain't really that type of barber that want to build their own brand. They want to be part of a team. And that, if that works for you, that works for you. Typically, you see commission shops pushing their brand. right? Because the barber is part of a team because you hired them, and part of your um, hiring process and part of your rules and regulations or whatever is to push your brand, and that no other brand can be pushed inside of this shop. I typically see that with commission shops because barbers don't have to do nothing. They don't have to buy their own supplies. They don't have to market or nothing. They just come to work and they're an employee, and employees have rules since you're the person cutting their paycheck, right? Now, flip side, for the barbers that want to push their own brand inside the barbershop, um, understand this. You do work in someone else's shop. You have to respect that. And I think it's best that you ask the owner, like, hey, is it cool if I push my own brand since I'm renting a booth? Or you ask them, do they have any rules around it? And if they don't have no rules around it, then cool. And if they do, and you don't like that, then you may have to find you another shop. See, if the brand of that shop is putting clients in your chair, I think it's best that you represent the brand of that shop. But if you are putting clients in your own chair via social media, booking apps, marketing with your own brand, whatever, hey, make your brand as strong as possible, right? Me, myself, when I was working inside the shop, a lot of clients didn't even know the shop's name. They just knew my brand, right? From my understanding, I had freedom to build my own brand. I put it at the top of my station. I just looked at that as a small mini suite with no walls. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I just say be respectful to the shop owner, right? You have the right to push your brand. And you got to understand this. If you're going to push your brand, you are responsible for your clientele. You are responsible for your growth, right? Because what I see a lot of barbers doing is they don't want to represent the brand of the shop. They want to represent their own independent brand, but they expecting the shop or the shop owner to put clients in their chair. See, that right there is where the conflict comes from. If you want the brand of the shop to put clients in your chair, then you need to be repping the brand of that shop, right? But if you want to get your own clientele your way, and you think you have a strong enough brand and built a strong enough brand and willing to put the effort in to make your brand pull in those clients, then rep your own brand. I mean, you are paying for a booth. Anywhere you pay for a booth or rent a space, you have the freedom to represent your brand and set that environment up. And if you're repping your own brand, if you're one of these barbers, understand that you do this over an extended period of time. You need to have specific goals, because it won't be too long to where you cause conflict inside the shop, right? It's just natural and it's going to happen. You need to have an exact plan on your way out, right? And that way you won't have no bad blood and don't burn no bridges. You understand what I'm saying? This is a big issue. And what I see is that barbers are really mad at these owners. You really think the owner just supposed to put clients in your chair, and these owners are really mad at these barbers because they not ripping their brand. Me, myself, I don't necessarily agree with a barber naming the shop after them unless it's some type of clever name that's relatable to barbering, where that everyone can use. When they open a booth rental shops like that, though, I'm not talking about the commission shops, because the commission shops, you name it what you name it, you're becoming an employee. If you go work at McDonald's, you're gonna wear McDonald's uniform. You're gonna abide by McDonald's rules. You're gonna tuck that shirt in. You're gonna wear that little whack ass black hat. You're gonna wear them fat, non-slip resistant shoes too. Yeah, you gonna wear it. I don't care how much you don't like it. You want that paycheck, you gonna wear it. It's the same way with a commission shop, right? But I don't think a lot of owners understand when you open a booth rental shop, you are asking for barbers that push their own brand. You're not necessarily asking for team members, and you must be mentally conscious, and you must understand that at some point barbers are going to leave, especially the ambitious ones, right? All barbers not like this. Some of y'all barbers are better inside of a shop being a team member. Every barber does not supposed to go off and start their own brand. Some barbers do not have what it takes to start their own brand, but they are perfect team members, right? And they can be prosperous right there behind the chair in somebody else's shop pushing somebody else's brand. But you're looking at these barbers on social media and you thinking, oh man, I'm supposed to, have a brand like him or have a brand like her. No, it's not for everybody, right? You got to have what it takes. You understand what I'm saying? So, I want that beef to stop, because shop owners and barbers got to work together in order for everybody's success, right? And that's just something that I believe in. At some point when I start a full barbershop, I'm probably gonna go commission for that reason, because I want my brand to be pushed. And guess what? I'm screening employees. I only want people that's down to be a team member and that's good at pushing someone else's brand, which would be my brand, right? I won't hire the independent barber. I don't want that mindset of barber in my shop. And if I do run into that type of person, when it's time for them to move on, I want a piece of their ownership. We can go in business together. I'll show you the ropes. Plus, I want a percentage of your business, and I'm gonna help you set it up and invest in it, right? Make it profitable, right? So it's ways around it, right? And I think shop owners should do that. You see an active barber inside of your shop that's getting it in, and they're gonna go off and start their own brand. Why don't you invest in that? Get like 20% of the business or 10% of the business by putting some money in with them and getting them started and show them the ropes, right? Instead of being jealous when they move on, right? I just think that's good business, man. Y'all take that game, man. Listen, like the video, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, wake y'all asses up.